UNLV joined among the thousands of schools for the National Walkout Day.
With the issue of gun reform, we asked Nevada teachers and parents what they think about arming teachers.
We have more to come. You're watching Studio G. Good afternoon and welcome to Studio G. I'm Alexis Ferraro.
And I'm Denier Franklin.
Thousands of students across the country walked out of their class yesterday to protest for stricter gun laws. The nationwide walkout also reached the UNLV campus as students began the march at 10 a.m. by the Hospitality Building. Students made a short walk towards the Alumni Amphitheater, where student activists spoke about the need for Nevada legislators to pass an effective policy. Organizers also urged for students to register to vote, which they say is the only way to make a change.
UNLV President Lynn Jessup sent an email to the campus community yesterday, denying the recent reports and rumors of his departure as president. He said that the reports are misleading, but, quote, "It's no secret that a few members of the Board of Regents and I have not always agreed on the direction of UNLV under my leadership." Jessup also said that he is beginning to look at other job opportunities. This is just a day after the reports of him being forced out of his job. The UNLV president has been criticized for the rising cost of the new medical school and also the handling of the dental school and the controversy with the school dentist. Yesterday night at the Greenspan Hall, the Criminal Justice Club hosted a town hall. The town hall, titled Mental Health Crises and Police Interactions, featured speakers from the Las Vegas Police Department, a local assemblyman, a community health professional, and a mother who lost her son in police violence. The town hall sought to bring the issue into light and talked about solutions, especially how to prevent police involvement in mental health crises.
One of the greatest minds of our time recently passed away. Stephen Hawking died early yesterday morning at his home in Cambridge, England. He was a renowned astrophysicist and cosmologist, most famous for his theories on black hole radiation. Speaking about this passing on Twitter, NASA said, "May you keep flying like Superman in microgravity." Hawking leaves behind 3 children, Tim, Robert, Lucy, and intend to carry on his legacy. He was 66 years old. Hawking was diagnosed with ALS when he was 22 years old and defied the odds by living with the disease for 5 decades, one of the longest surviving people with the disease in history.
Trump visited California for the first time since becoming president. He had lost the state in the 2016 election and has remained unpopular there. CNN's Andy Rose has a report on the president's trip.
Brown's done a very poor job running California. They have the highest taxes in the United States. You have sanctuary cities where you have criminals living in the sanctuary cities. And no, I think the governor's doing a terrible job running the state of California.
Harsh words from President Donald Trump as he made his first trip to California since taking office 14 months ago. It was a quick one-day visit to the country's most populous state, where Trump focused mainly on immigration issues, a hot topic in a state where there is no love lost between him and local leaders when it comes to the president's open disapproval of their sanctuary cities. Earlier in the day, he was in San Diego, touring the 8 border wall prototypes on the California-Mexico border.
I do have a preference. The problem is you have to have see-through. You have to know what's on the other side of the wall.
Though Trump campaigned heavily on building a southern border wall and having Mexico pay for it, the wall has yet to happen.
If you don't have a wall system, we're not going to have a country. There's a lot of problems in Mexico. They have a lot of problems over there. And they have the cartels, and the cartels, we're fighting the cartels, so we're fighting them hard.
Before heading to a high-dollar fundraiser in Beverly Hills for the evening, Trump stopped at a Marine base, promising that no matter where they are stationed, the military is always a top priority for him.
We're also investing in our greatest weapon of all. In 2019, we want to give you your largest pay raise in over a decade.
I'm Andy Rose reporting.
While he visited the California-Mexico border, protesters on the Mexican side have been trying to say that they do not want a wall.
It's almost the first day of spring, yet the Northeast is still being bombarded with snow, winds, and flooding. Omar Jimenez has the story.
40 million people under a winter weather advisory or warning, with some parts of the Northeast expecting up to 2 feet of snow by the time Tuesday is over. This comes as this region of the country is bracing for yet another nor'easter in less than 2 weeks. A third coastal storm in less than 2 weeks will bring more snow and coastal flooding to New England, impacting millions.
I think the combination of how much snow is on the ground combined with the winds will make driving difficult.
Officials warning people again about dangerous driving conditions.
We're going to see a ton of snow, and it will make driving very dangerous for almost the entire day.
The Massachusetts governor also telling non-emergency state employees working in executive branches not to report to work today, while some residents are preparing to get out of the storm's way as blizzard conditions are expected in parts of eastern Massachusetts.
Making a plan to get out if it does, which we didn't last time, so we had the National Guard come and take us out last weekend.
The city hit by the storm the hardest is Boston. Emergency management crews say that there will still be high winds and freezing temperatures even after the storm passes.
When we come back, we'll toss it over to Dre to have a look at our 5-day forecast.
We'll be right back.
Oh, the station's great. You make friends, you gain skills, you learn how to do all this stuff with audio. It's a fantastic thing.
I can grow with everyone and everybody supports me as well as I can support them.
I think it's great. I think it's a blessing to have this kind of equipment from the Green Spun family as well as the state of Nevada.
And it's really informative to see, how a radio show really works.
Now that I do it, I have friends, I have people that want to hang out, and I get to play music a lot.
It's very good too because we have all the top of the line equipment to work with and students here that can help you out, so it's a very, very good way to get involved in the radio.
Beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing. You get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own. And that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
Good afternoon and welcome back, everyone. It looks like it's going to be a while before spring comes to the Northeast here in the Valley. All right, today in Las Vegas is 58 degrees. If you were up this morning around 8 o'clock, you did see some showers, but now it's pretty windy and sunny. There's a high of 63 today and a low of 47. Partly sunny and very windy. The photo of the day is of downtown Las Vegas. They're having a ton of events this weekend coming up for St. Patrick's Day. There's events at Commonwealth. They are having a festival with live bands, food throughout the whole entire weekend. So you can come out, friends, family, you can go to the bars, you can go to the container park and witness a lot of, St. Patrick's Day festivities. And the Neon Museum changed their thing to green. 5-day forecast. Today it is partly cloudy and 63 degrees with a low of 48. And tomorrow it's going to be partly cloudy with partly sunny, 66 degrees, 48 degrees as a low. On Saturday, we're going to get some rain again. Very, very slim. Going to be 30% chance. High of 61, low of 42. On Sunday, it's going to be sunny with a high of 62. Right now in the Las Vegas Valley, in Summerlin, it's 53. Centennial, it's 54. Southern Highlands, 57. Green Valley, 55. Right here in Las Vegas, 57. North Las Vegas, 56. And Nellis, 57. Henderson, 58. Boulder City, 54. Las Vegas at school right now, it is 63 degrees, partly cloudy, mostly sunny. The winds are 7 to 13 miles per hour, but the gusts can get as high as 20% or 20 miles per hour. So be sure to hold your hats down. Humidity is going to be 44%. Tonight is going to be cooler than the last few nights. It's going to be 47 degrees, partly cloudy, with winds about 6 miles per hour to 14 miles per hour. And national forecast. In Seattle, it's actually sunny. Portland, about 56. Down here on the West Coast, San Francisco, 57. LA, 65. We see a lot of warm weather down in Texas also, 76, 71s, in Dallas, 78. The East Coast is actually starting to clear up a bit. They still are seeing some ice and some snow from the storm that they just had. And if you're down on spring break, once again, in Miami, it's 75 degrees and 73 degrees. That's where we need to be. That's all I have for you guys today for weather, and we'll be back to the studio, guys.
United Airlines is under fire once again, this time for an incident regarding a dog. CNN reporter Athena Jones tells us about the controversy with the airline.
They showed me the kennel, and the minute I said, "Ergo," up pops this Great Dane.
United Airlines mistakenly shipping this Kansas-bound dog named Ergo more than 6,000 miles away from his intended destination. The 10-year-old German Shepherd winding up in Japan, leaving his family frantic.
I instantly burst into tears, just wondering where my dog was.
The family says that Ergo, who was suffering from an ear infection, made the 16-hour flight with no food or water. He was examined in Japan and is flying back to Kansas with an escort.
He was probably so scared and freaked out, and probably hurting too because he doesn't have his medicine. I'm hoping and praying that he will still be alive.
United apologizing in a statement, saying that an error occurred during connections in Denver for 2 pets sent to the wrong destinations. The mix-up coming one day after this French bulldog died on board a different United flight after flying more than 3 hours from Houston to New York in an overhead bin.
The flight attendants came. She said, "You have to put him up there because it's going to block the path." And we're like, "It's a dog, it's a dog." And she's like, "It doesn't matter, you still have to put it up there." She took him out and opened the thing, and then she got the dog, and he was dead.
United taking full responsibility, acknowledging that the passenger did tell the flight attendant that the dog was in the carrier, but explaining that the attendant did not hear or understand her and did not knowingly place the dog in the overhead bin.
He was a really special dog, and it's just sad how the way he has to just leave.
Lawmakers are demanding answers.
What happened to this pet was disgraceful, and I can't imagine how the pet's owner feels, but we need to get to the bottom of it.
Republican Senator John Kennedy introducing legislation today to ban animals from being put in overhead bins. The Department of Transportation says 18 animals died on board United Airlines flights last year, more than any other airline. These latest incidents coming nearly 1 year after United Airlines faced intense backlash after this video surfaced of a passenger being dragged off a flight for refusing to get off the plane due to overbooking.
United did announce yesterday that bright yellow tags will now be used starting in April for passengers with pets to be easily identified by airline crews.
Since the Parkland shooting, gun laws in Florida have changed. Local teachers and parents are wondering if Nevada will be next.
After the Parkland shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School last month, where 17 lives were lost, the Florida House passed a legislation that would allow some teachers and staff to carry guns in school. Now Nevada teachers and parents are wondering Will Nevada pass a similar bill?
I mean, now it would seem bizarre to have like atomic bomb drills, but back then when that was happening, I mean, that was the way they got prepared for that situation, you know? So similarly to us, the way we're preparing for a dangerous crisis is that teachers might have to actually just carry a gun and just conceal it with them for the protection of their students. So.
I feel like it would deter some people to be teachers, because, I mean, some people, like, they want to work with children because of the fact that there's no dangerous aspects to it, but now times are changing.
Oh, I'm a Second Amendment supporter myself. I own several weapons. And if it were to pass, I would hope that they would fund very good training for them, like military style tactics, law enforcement tactics, so that they actually know what they're doing. That's what I would hope for.
A few states are going to adopt similar laws as Florida. No word if Nevada will follow in the footsteps, since Nevada currently prohibits firearms on school grounds.
On Tuesday, the UNLV campus was taken over by live music, art, and speakers in a celebration of school spirit. UNLV's radio station 91.5 The Source hosted the 3rd annual Reb Fest event outside of the student union. And this year, they upped expectations with live entertainment and a little help from major brands like Smashburger and Monster.
For Reb Fest, we helped to put everything together. It took us students 7 months to go from the idea to what we have today, and that was reaching out to sponsors to be able to get them to come out, and also getting all of our artists to come out.
Foot touches the stage, it's like all that doesn't exist anymore. The world doesn't exist. I'm just in my zone.
Reb Fest is sure to be back again next school year with even more talent. Tune in to 91.5 The Source every day to support your UNLV radio station.
We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll sit down and talk with Cara Catarata about the UNLV walkout. We'll be right back.
Sunday evening jazz. I mainly play a lot of contemporary jazz music from the 1960s up until about 2012, 2013. When I go on, just explain who it was, the name of the song, the name of the artist, maybe the name of the album, their career. I just hope that everybody enjoys it and appreciate it for the kind of music it is and how great it is. My name is Sam, and I host Sunday evening jazz on the rebelhd2.com.
The show's name is the Rebel and Revolt Show. Pretty good show about, just someone who will actually talk about UNLV the way an outsider might feel. We talk about current events, we talk about politics, try to take an offensive swing with it. Sometimes it's hit or miss, and then we talk about, the little things in life that everybody laughs about. And we are the Rebels and we are revolting. My name is Jameson Wilk and I run the Rebel and Revolt Show, and you can tune in at therebelhd2.com.
We are member supported. KUNV 91.5 The Source. Here's why you should become a member. Become a part of the public radio family while keeping jazz alive in Southern Nevada. Every member receives a discount card to businesses and restaurants around the valley, along with a premium of KUNV branded items. Exclusive access to KUNV ticket giveaways for concerts and events, and private members-only events with prominent musicians such as Paul Taylor, Vincent Ingala, and many more. We are 91.5 The Source, and that source is you. So become a member today.
The school walkout at UNLV happened yesterday at the Alumni Amphitheater. Many activists rallied together and spoke about gun reform. We have one of the speakers here today, Cara Catarata, a political science major and a student activist. Thank you for coming today, Carl.
Thank you for having me here.
So I'd like to talk about, real quick, your role in the walkout. Could you elaborate on that for us, please?
Yeah, no, so I had the opportunity to be one of the student speakers at the walkout, and I also was one of the lead organizers for the walkout as well.
Okay, so you were basically like, getting students together, getting the word out, and then, planning the whole thing for, yesterday.
Yeah, so I was pretty much one of the few student activists who had really did all of the outreach. But again, I'm just one of the few. There are other students that I would love to name, like America Marcos Reyes from the UNLV Andaki Network, Caitlin Caruso with the Center for Social Justice, Makaja Daniels, Courtney Jones, Jason Dagger, so many more other students that helped out with this awesome effort.
Yeah. How do you think it turned out?
So yeah, we were expecting at least 80 people to show up, but I mean, we saw with the different cameras and press there that it was more than 150 people. That was our largest goal. So it was an awesome turnout, and we were really, really glad that it turned out that way.
Wow, that's awesome. 150 people, that's pretty good. So you and the other speakers said what we really need to do in order to make a change is to vote. So I want to know, why is it so important for people to do that, and specifically, who do you think we should vote for?
Yeah, so when it comes to activism and mobilization, coming from the community organizing background that I have and that I've been able to experience myself in, when it comes to registering people to vote, that's the first important thing. Getting people registered to vote and getting people at the ballot box is extremely important. And also talking about voting rights and talking about accessibility to the ballot as well for people all across the different aisles, people across all of the different states. But when it comes to who we need to vote for, we need to vote for people who are not backed by the gun lobby, people who are not accepting donations from the gun lobby and who will be pretty much swayed and moved by the gun lobbyists that pretty much run the conversation. And this is important just because of the fact that this, obviously, studying political science, this definitely impacts the way senators and Congress persons will vote.
Okay. So why did it take this long for UNLV to do a movement like this? You know, like, for example, going back to the October 1 shooting, why do you think that we didn't have a protest then?
Well, I think we did have a protest. We did have a rally. So I know RHA and student government had a rally of actually more than 200 to 300 students.
Oh, really?
And it was in the courtyard. So it was after the October 1st shooting here at the Las Vegas Strip. It was in the Donald Moyer courtyard amphitheater, which is right next to the student union, and it was pretty much spearheaded by UNLV Residential Hall Association and UNLV Student Government. That I want to put that out there, and alongside with that, when it comes to why we haven't done this so early, I think it's just because of the fact that this shooting, when it came to Las Vegas, it wasn't a shooting on campus, and this specific action recently was also sponsored by the Women's March, and the next movement will be sponsored by the March for Our Lives, specifically by the Parkland students from Florida. So I guess that's the reason why it was delayed. I completely agree. It's completely frustrating that it's been delayed.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that the movement it's here, and we're still bringing together and building our community after that.
Yeah, it's here now, and we're part of it now.
Yeah.
So do you think this time, after the Parkland shooting, there will be actions?
So yeah, when it comes to question 1 on the, and I'm talking about like institutional reform. When it comes to question 1 on the ballot, question 1, when it came to expanding background checks in Nevada, it was passed. It was completely passed by the whole entire state of Nevada. Well, not all, of course. Voters across Nevada swiftly said that they want comprehensive background checks and background reform in Nevada on the question 1 ballot in 2016. So they voted on it and it passed. But unfortunately, the Attorney General of Nevada wasn't able to carry it out just because of 2 things: the capacity in the way that carrying it out in terms of those background checks, and 2, he personally disagrees with it just because of the fact that he simply disagrees with it. So when it comes to that specific institutional reform and what specific actions will be coming after this, I mean, question 1, it's here. It's passed in Nevada. We just need to enforce it. And across the whole entire country, pretty much getting elected officials that are backed by the gun lobby out of office.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Unfortunately, we are running short on time, but thank you very much for coming. So when we come back, we'll enter Harry Potter world at the Honors College Ball. Stay tuned.
Get to do an internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to like just remind you that, you know, that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
Your community's farmers market. Welcoming, lively, friendly. A place where neighbors and friends come together to celebrate their community. With over 50 vendors, organic, sustainable, fresh produce are available just for you. Support and buy local at Fresh 52.
Our Metropolis is a 30-minute show that airs every Tuesday evening at 91.5. You're going to hear Dr. Gary Larson along with our regular contributors talking about what matters to our community. And not only what matters, but why does it matter? We look at our community as a whole, but we also pay special attention to what's happening here at UNLV because that's our home as well. So looking at our Metropolis through the lens of a radio show really gives us the unique perspective to tell a story through words and through people, and I think it makes for a great program.
For one family in the Northeast, a March miracle happened during the height of the winter storm. A husband helped his wife deliver their newborn son at home. Jessica Morin has more on the story.
Couldn't believe I had to do it myself, but sometimes you just got to take care of things and get them done.
Chris and his wife Lisana Alexander welcoming a baby boy into their home, literally. During today's snowstorm, it quickly became apparent that Logan John Alexander wasn't going to wait for a doctor or even a paramedic.
By the time we were about to get out the door, the baby said, "Nope. Can't go. We're coming now, Dad." So I had to call the 911, and the lady talked me through it, and I had to deliver my own son.
Yes, Chris helped his wife deliver their second child in their home on the bathroom floor.
I've been told I did great. She did great, I thought. So we worked together, and a great experience for a mom and dad to deliver their own child.
Two men who had no doubt of Chris's ability to help in such a tense situation. A couple of proud grandpas.
He's always calm when you need him to be, so he's calmed me down a lot of times when I need to be calmed down, so I wasn't afraid of him being there doing what he had to do as a dad, and so proud.
Emotional day for Grandpa, too.
Yeah, very much so, you can see.
We were just in the room with Mom and the baby, and we got to hold him for the first time. It's really precious.
Last month, the Honors College hosted their very own Harry Potter style ball called Yule Ball. Studio G reporter Lourdes Trimdahl went to the event to learn some waltz.
I'm here at Honors College's first ever Yule Ball. Let's check out the festivities.
Winter may almost be over, but the Honors College didn't let the wintertime magic fade away without a little dance. And not just any dance, this is the Yule Ball. Based on the book and movie Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, the Yule Ball is a traditional dance as part of the Tri-Wizard Tournament. Honor students and their dates got to put on their ball robes and dancing shoes. Rebel Dance Sport came by to teach them how to waltz and samba.
Well, I learned how to waltz. I should say I relearned how to waltz because I've forgotten how to waltz about 4 times already. And my favorite part was my partner, a woman who honestly I hadn't met until the moment we actually started doing the dance. And we both turned to each other and just were like, yeah, let's try it. Let's try something new together. And then I learned her name after the fact, and then we got going, and we actually managed to figure out how to waltz by the end of it.
Choosing your dress robes is definitely important, as you wouldn't want to look dressed like your grandmother, like Ron Weasley did. The women showed up in lavish, sparkling gowns and prom dresses, while the men wore their suits and bow ties. Others have dressed up in bright colors, representing their Hogwarts house colors.
Well, I dressed up in my Hogwarts house colors. I have my Hufflepuff corset and my Hufflepuff cardigan.
Of course, the ball also provided the sweets and desserts. Everyone couldn't resist hovering around the chocolate fountain. Since no dangerous Triwizard Tournament happened after, it was a late night of magic and fun for these honors students. For Studio G, I'm Lourdes Trimidal.
Even though the Yule Ball happened around Christmas in the actual book, it's never too late to learn some waltz.
Yeah, the last time I waltzed, I was in middle school. It was fun, but it didn't last. It was like a 2-week trial, you know.
I'm not that good of a dancer, but that is all we have that's all we have for today. That wraps up our show.
Join us next week for another episode. See you, Rebels. Yeah.